Hi, it's so great to have you once again. This is a piece of my mind, me sharing a piece of my mind, and the topic is how did we get here? This is a reflective analysis on attacks on the church and where the church might have deviated to warrant some of these attacks or some of the things that are missing in the church today. So in episode 1, I shared about how the church was replacing essence with abstract, how we were missing connecting with people on the issues of these contemporary times, how it is necessary that honest conversations start taking place in the church around hitherto avoided topics and healthy concerns of church folks. I shared how that this is one of the biggest reasons why believers or church people start looking outside for solutions, because they get tired of pretending that all is well when their needs are not being met in the church. In today's episode, I want to share a very critical area where the church will need to improve on, especially for continuity purposes. And this is has to do with carrying young people or the younger generation along. See, the other day I was watching a video on Damilola Bamiloye's Facebook page. That's the son of the Mount Zion film initiators, Mike and Gloria Bamiloye. He was in a video with his wife. Guess what? I noticed that the girl, that's his wife, was dressed in modern costumes. She wore jewelry and she wore makeup. I don't know if we know Gloria Bamiloye and the Mount Zion films. You know how she dresses, right? Alright, so I even saw a clip where the lady was dressed in leggings and a long top. The son had on a very decent, neat haircut. They looked really nice, and they had continued in their godly parents' footsteps, and I was like, wow. Now compare this with a story that broke the internet some time ago about how the younger son of the Deeper Life overseer had a wedding abroad that was not Deeper Life style. His bride was fully made up. I saw the pictures. She looked really lovely, by the way. And then people were calling them out for hypocrisy, for having led people on. There had been people who followed them, don't watch TV, the way they dress and everything. And now his son, would put up this kind of wedding. And his father, I think his father came out to wash his hands off it. The guy later too came out and apologized. He said he had no intentions of painting his father black or painting the church black, but that him and his bride were just being true to themselves. And you will see that people will eventually get to express themselves, even if you put them in a bottle. One day they will open it and come out. So wouldn't it be better to let them express themselves according to their times within the limits of godliness? I'm talking about young people right now. So this is it. In our churches, we have lost a lot of the younger generation because either we do not allow them to express themselves, live in their times and seasons. So this is 2020, for instance. Some of us, expect our youth to still be behaving like we behaved maybe in 1998. Okay, 98 is still close. In 1980, some people even expect youth to behave as they behaved in 1960. So, or worse, elders in the church expect youth to be like them. Elders in the church to be like, we expect our younger generation to be our clone. I used to be a teenage teacher in my former church, and to an extent I was guilty of this. Like, if you don't watch yourself, you are going to start making, this also applies to raising children. we must understand that the younger generation are in a different time and season from the times that we lived. The other thing is that in most of our churches, not much time, and this is very, very important, is invested into creatively educating young people or creatively bringing out content targeted for or at the youth. You see, I taught for a couple of years. I taught for 5 years. Schools and educational bodies spend a lot of time and money and effort constantly modifying and improving the syllabus to better suit the seasons and needs of learners. I don't understand why the church does not do this. For instance, the same way you go to church and you discover that the same way that the story of creation was taught to me in Sunday school is the same way that maybe my children will still be taught in Sunday school. This is not proper. When you go to schools, you notice that, in fact, as it is now, seasoned educationists know that we are very backward. We are backward globally as far as education is concerned, because the world has changed, things are new, and we are living on the edge of change. Every day we wake up to new technology. A lot of things are crazy right now, and things are going to keep. This decade is going to be a decade fraught with different kinds of changes. So seasoned educators know that there is a gap in the education content and relevance to now. You understand? Also, there is a gap with what we offer in education and life adaptability. This is a global problem that needs to be, that is being looked into. You understand? Then imagine, okay, of course, Nigeria is still way behind some other countries. But in church, we are teaching children. Where we teach children or we teach the younger ones, we expect to use the same methods that we used 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago to teach children the word and everything in the now. And this is a huge problem, because in the long run, these kids are not being carried along, because you are speaking a language that is obsolete for them. You understand? So Sunday school now becomes like Sunday school just becomes like a rote thing. They recite things and they don't really get the essence. They don't get the meaning of these things. So if in the secular there is constant improvements to the syllabus, to meet the needs of learners and to meet the changing times, how much more should this happen in the church? We need to have passionate children teachers in the children unit. Not just anybody should be in the children unit, because we're talking about the younger generation. So this is the reason why most of the younger generation do not stay in church. When they follow their parents to church, they follow them from when they do not have a choice. Once they have a choice, once they get to 18, get into the higher institution, they stop going to church because it doesn't make sense to them. Do you understand? Alright, so of course, we know that faith, for a Christian, faith is a very vital part. It's not even a matter of being a Christian. Faith is a very vital part of morality. Most of the laws that we have adapted into our society came from faith, because the Bible, we say, some of them have roots to the Bible. The Bible says, "Thou shalt not kill," or has links to some religion. So in fact, faith most times is the central pillar, alright, upon which most moral standards are based. So if we consider secular education important, then faith education is even more important. No wonder we have children who are selfish. We're having the younger generations, we say they don't have respect. We have so much to complain about them. But if they are not rooted in morality, if they are not given the kind of sound training, of course not using the same style that we received, then how do we expect them to turn out better? You can't garbage in something else and expect to receive, something else. So what can we do? What can we do in the church? We must lead our children into a real understanding and relationship with God. So many times we just what we do is we do cliche teachings, give children or give the younger ones commandments, tell them this is how it is. Do you know sometimes when children don't even know why don't we do this or something? Sometimes all they hear is maybe is the doctrine or is the doctrine of some or something like that. So when we give children cliche teachings and commandments that make no real sense to them, that they cannot connect with, this can only fly for a season. Example is the Father Christmas myth. Because you can only tell a child about the Father Christmas story and how Father Christmas keeps dropping Christmas gifts for him for a season. At a particular point in life, he begins to realize that it's a myth. So if we do not communicate God as a reality and introduce God as a reality to our younger ones, it will become a myth. It's nothing but a myth to them. You understand? If we do not lead them into a real understanding of God as a person and into a relationship with Him, and we are not going to do it by just talking or giving them commandments and stuff like that. It's deeper than that, because it has to do with their spirit connecting to the spirit of the Father. So otherwise, once they get to the age of accountability, like I already said, every intelligent person among them, the ones who are curious-minded, exploratory, adventurous, intellectually adventurous, when they can't find substance behind what they have been taught, they will leave it behind and go find something else. So the truth is that we might not always be able to answer the questions of the young people, but we can lead them into a relationship with the one who has all the answers. The one who has all the answers that everybody is looking for is God. I remember one time, I'll give you an example of how God teaches us, brings us into knowledge Himself. There was a season in church that most of the sermon that I heard was on how God was a consuming fire. Of course, this is a truth. There's a judgment side of God, and you do not want to experience that, especially when you are evil, something like that. Okay, so and the way I came to God, I came to God. I've always been somewhat of a rebel. I'm the kind of person who asks questions. You say, let's do this. I'm like, why should we do it? I want to understand why I need to do this before I do it. Alright, so I started hearing this, and I started thinking about my walk with God, how I came to God, and how our work has been, and how I'm always asking God questions around things. And I said, praying, I said, Father, if this is really you, because it was making sense to me, please, I'm asking you to instill your fear in me. Like, I wanted to be really afraid of God, so that I wouldn't be asking Him unnecessary questions before one day He will consume me. It was a sincere prayer that I was making. And one day, God said to me, He said, stay on my love side. From that day, I was okay with being me and asking God, questions. I understood that God loved the flavor, like we are different flavors. After God told me this, after I received this word from God, I was secure in my walk with God and how it was going. I now began to look at my pastor who used to preach that sermon somehow, like all these religious people, they'll just come and be preaching, and God told me again, that is my son, like leave him for me, like that's how we relate, leave him for me. And I had a new respect for my pastor. So I'm just trying to say that we will not always be able to answer all the questions. Nobody can know God for another person. All you need to do is lead people to the stream, and that is what we need to do for a younger generation. Lead them to the stream by any means possible. Of course, I'm not talking about by punishment or by coercion, unnecessary coercion, or lead them exemplarily to the stream, to God, and let them experience God for themselves. When they experience God, have their own stories with God. Let them have their own memories, their own store with God. See, I've been to places. I get in contact. I talk a lot with atheists, both online and offline. And sincerely, there has never been any argument that anybody has made for me that made God unreal, because God is something that became an experience for me. It wasn't a story that somebody told me. Matter of fact, before I gave my life to Christ, I was already on the brink of atheism. I was questioning everything. Is there a God and stuff, because of the things that were happening in my life at that point, and how somebody that was supposed to be a spiritual leader in my life was behaving. So I had already questioned everything, and I was thinking that this can't be God. Do you understand? So I've been privileged to have an experiential walk with God, and that has helped me never to fall. All right. So we can lead. We need to lead the younger generation into an experiential relationship with God by being exemplary, by understanding them. We need to understand them. Let's not expect them in the church. Let's not expect youths to be like us. We need to carry them along to sometimes wonder what is going through their minds. Like, these guys are quiet, or let's hear them out. Let's hear what they have to say in the youth churches. Let's let them preach, let them teach themselves, let them express themselves in the language of their times. Let them be themselves. They don't need to be us. They don't need to dress like us, like the way we were dressing in the 90s. That's not what it is to be born again. They don't need to sing the kind of songs that we are singing, you understand, or do the same things we did. Now, in conclusion, I'll just point this out. When we look at the Bible, it might be worthy to note that Jesus was the Son of God. He was the epitome. He was God himself. He didn't behave like David. Jesus was himself. David had his own personality. He didn't go around behaving like Abraham. Moses didn't behave like Moses. Was Moses, and God never expected Moses to be Abraham clone. So these people lived in their times and seasons, and they acted according to their times and seasons. Paul acted according to his times and seasons. In his time, people went to school and everything. He was a lawyer, and he was himself, and he served God. So these people, they were patriarchs of faith. They lived and manifested in consonance with the times they lived in. The Bible said that we are testaments being written by God, so we must allow our young people to be testaments written by God and not our clones. So one of the things that the church can no longer afford to be missing is to not carry the young ones along. If we want there to be continuity, when you go to churches and you notice that most of the people there are elderly people, check out the method of teaching, check out the method of dissemination of this message, and you will notice that the younger generation are not being carried along. The youths matter. Thank you very much for joining me. For everyone that watched, I'm seeing, okay, Mrs. Good afternoon, Ma'am Christiana. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you for everyone else who joined me. I'm so privileged. I hope this has been a blessing. I'd love to see your comments down, your contributions and your comments to this. In the next episode, I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to be sharing about mediocrity in the church and our consumer attitude, lack of innovation and all of that. God bless you. Thanks. Bye.